Hello dear student, good evening all of you. I hope you all are healthy and well-being. So welcome back in a very amazing video. Welcome back in a very amazing session. So today I will discuss about the chapter Excretory System, a subtopic of the RAAS system. So today I will discuss Excretory System chapter Excretory System. Chapter Excretory System. Chapter जो Excretory System, Excretory System contain a subtopic. Subtopic is RAAS system. Subtopic is RAAS system. Topic is RAAS system. I think you know about the RAAS system. What mean of the RAAS system? RAAS. RAAS system. RAAS stand for the R stand for the renin. R stand for the renin. A stand for the angiotensin. A stand for the angiotensin, and second A strong stand from the aldosterone. Aldosterone. Aldosterone, and S stand for the system. It means RAAS system. When RAAS system activated, when RAAS system working, why RAAS system need to working? Each and everything we discuss in this particular video. So I hope you really enjoy this video. So first we all know about the renin. What is renin? Renin is hormones. What? Renin is hormones. Renin is hormones. These hormones secreted from the Juxtaglomerular Apparatus that contains cell, JG cell. These hormones secreted by JG cell. JG cell. JG cell means just a glomerular cell. Just a glomerular cell. Merular cell. Which present in JG cell present in these cell present in these cell present in these cell present in JGA apparatus. You know about the JGA apparatus. What mean of the JGA apparatus? These cell present in JGA apparatus. JGA apparatus. Apparatus. JGA apparatus. How JGA apparatus form? How JGA apparatus form? I think you know when our distal convoluted tubules means DCT close contact with afferent arterioles. So a structure is formed that's known as the JGA apparatus. JGA apparatus contain JG cell which secrete renin, and these renin work in the RAAS system. RAAS system have also other hormones such as angiotensin and aldosterone. Aldosterone basically secreted from the adrenal cortex, from the cortex region, first layer of the zona glomerulosa. These is the aldosterone is mineralocorticoid. These are mineralocorticoid. They balance minerals in our body. Mineralocorticoid. 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 It means they balance minerals. What main minerals? You know, sodium, Na plus, chloride ion, and water also they maintain from the later part of the DCT. I know that angiotensin is a protein. This is a protein secreted by the liver. Secreted by the liver. These protein secreted by the liver but present in our blood. Plasma protein, these is the plasma proteins. So we can say these present in blood, these present in our plasma, our plasma, our plasma, because you know plasma is the part of the blood, plasma is the part of the blood. So JG apparatus formed by the close association of DCT and efferent arterioles, efferent arterioles. Arterioles formed by fine branch when artery divided. When artery divided, then arterioles form. After that, arterioles form capillary. Arterioles make capillaries. So you know about glomerulus and Bowman capsule, PCT, DCT, loop of Henle, a collecting duct. You memorize the structure of the nephron very well. I know you memorize each and everything in chapter excretory system, excretion and the elimination. So this topic is very important exam point of view. So we can understand all things. So basically, when JGA apparatus form, as I told you, JGA apparatus form when afferent arterioles close association with DCT. That means our JGA apparatus form. JGA apparatus contain JG cells. Let's draw a diagram. This diagram you can relate. This diagram you can relate. This is the structure of the. This is the structure of the our glomerulus. This is the structure of the our glomerulus. I draw a diagram where one side is narrowing and another side is wider. Why it's narrowing and wider? So you know very well afferent arterioles. Afferent arterioles, it is afferent arterioles. This is a afferent arteriole. Afferent arteriole. Afferent arterioles. Afferent arterioles. How afferent arterioles form? So fine branch of renal artery. Fine branch of renal artery make afferent arterioles which has a larger diameter as compared to efferent arterioles. That is necessary for the glomerulus filtration. What mean of glomerulus filtration? It means GFR. When our glomerulus filter the blood per minute known as the GFR. I think you got it. This is the glomerulus, top of the capillary network known as the glomerulus. Okay, I think you got it. This is the efferent arterioles. Efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole. And I draw a Bowman capsule here. So I draw a Bowman capsule here. I draw a Bowman capsule here. This structure known as Bowman capsule. This structure known as Bowman capsule. Bowman capsule. Bowman capsule. When Bowman capsule and glomerulus study with, when we study glomerulus and Bowman capsule together, so known as Malpighian body or Malpighian corpuscles. So what I can say? When glomerulus plus Bowman capsule, when glomerulus plus Bowman capsule, so it's known as Malpighian body. Malpighian pigeon body, male pigeon body, or or renal corpuscles, renal corpuscles. I think you got it. This is a very easy diagram. Okay. So basically, when our afferent arteriole cell modify, they form JG cell. They form JG cell. So when our afferent arteriole cell modify, these are modified cell of afferent arterioles. They form JG cell. JG cell, and JG cell secrete renin. Secrete renin. Secrete renin. Renin. Renin is a hormone. Renin is hormones. Here they act as the hormones, basically hormones. And there is part of DCT. There is a cross section of DCT when some cells where close association with DCT. So I mark with white color. This is the Lasix cell. What? Lasix. Lasix cell. Lasix cell. Lasix cell. And this is the DCT. This is the cross section of the DCT. DCT known as the distal convoluted tubules. Distal convoluted tubules. This is known as distal convoluted tubules. Their cells are also modified. Some cells are modified, known as macula densa. These cells known as macula densa. Macula densa. Densa. These cells, macula densa cell, are sensory cell, have chemoreceptors for chemical sensation, or we can say this is the sensory cell. What is this? Is a sensory cell. This is the sensory cell for sodium and chloride. Sodium and chloride concentration maintained by the macula densa cell. That's the name is sensory cell. Sodium and chloride ion is very necessary electrolytes for our body. They maintain our the blood pressure and GFR and body fluid and many other things, help in osmoregulation. Okay. And this part of the PCT, this is the PCT. So now come in our topic that this is the glomerulus. This is the glomerulus form JGA apparatus. This is the structure of the JGA apparatus where our DCT close association with the afferent arterioles, and some cells of afferent arterioles modify and form the JG cells. They secrete the hormones known as renin. Renin hormones work in RAAS system. When RAAS system work, question arises, when RAAS system work? Question is, when RAAS system work? When RAAS system work? When RAAS system work? RAAS system work. RAAS when work? When work? When work? When work? When work RAAS system? You know. If you don't know, then I explain you in better way. Okay. RAAS system, you know about R stand for the renin, first A stand for the angiotensin, and second A stand for the aldosterone, S stand for the system. When many organs participate together, they make system. In our body, organ system level of organization take place. There are many organs which participate in our body. There are different functions, such as our heart pump the blood, lungs purify our blood in the form of they exchange help in the gases exchange. In kidney, nephrons help in the filtration. Okay, so when RAS system work, if our blood, if GFR, GFR, GFR stand for glomerular, glomerular filtration rate, glomerular filtration rate. When our GFR become low, become decrease, GFR become decrease. If GFR become decrease, then our RAS system participate. Okay. When our blood pressure low, blood pressure decrease, blood pressure decrease, blood pressure decrease, and glomerular, glomerular blood flow, blood flow decrease, then our RAS system work. So there are three things. There are three things when our RAS system work. When our GFR, glomerular filtration rate become low, decrease. When our blood pressure become decrease, and where our glomerular blood flow is decrease, then our RAS system activated. So because how this situation created, so there are the many possibilities, such some person got a accident, they lost the body fluid, they lost the blood. If the body fluid 20% loss from the body, in our body fluid basically blood and lymph, blood and lymph, blood and lymph, these are body fluid. But these are body fluid, body fluid, body fluid, body fluid. Mainly body fluid is blood. Our main body fluid, main body fluid, main body fluid, main body fluid, our blood. Blood contain plasma. As you know, blood contain plasma. Blood contain plasma, plasma, and plasma contain 90 to 92 percentage water. So in our body, water play great role. Water plays significant role in our body for maintenance of hydration in our body, maintenance of the tone of our body, skin tone. Okay, all things maintained by the water, and also help in the osmoregulation. What mean of osmoregulation? Osmoregulation means maintenance of electrolyte with body fluid balance, known as osmoregulation. Osmoregulation, जो osmoregulation maintained by the our hypothalamus. Hypothalamus have the osmoreceptors which detect the low concentration of the sodium in our body, or when our blood or body fluid loss. Okay, so if our body fluid loss, if our body fluid loss due to many regions, one region is trauma, injury, burn. So our body fluid loss. Okay, our body fluid loss. And so when body fluid loss, then our also blood which come from the afferent arterioles, which is the fine branch of the renal artery, also low. So when blood not filter properly from the glomerulus, then our GFR is also low. When blood flow is glomerulus is low, means glomerulus blood flow is also low. That's also activate the RAS system. Okay, so we move in our next slide. So when our body loss 20 percentage of the body fluid, 20 percentage of body fluid, body fluid, body fluid, known as known as hypovolumic shock. What? Hypovolumic shock. Hypo means low. Hypovolemic shock. Hypovolemic shock. It means from our body loss of the 20 percentage fluid from our body. So if our body have low fluid, so our blood pressure become low, our GFR become low, and our glomerular blood filtration rate is also low. Okay, so in this condition RAAS work. So what occurs further? RAAS means यहाँ here JGA apparatus have JG cell, secrete renin, which is hormones. Renin, which is hormone. They work in our blood vessels. This I hope blood vessels I make from the red color. Blood vessels I made from the red color. This is the blood vessels. In our blood vessels, I tell you that a plasma protein is known as the angiotensinogen. Basically, inactive form is angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen, which is the inactive. This is the inactive form. Inactive form. Angiotensinogen in inactive form. They form by liver, as I earlier told you. Okay. Then renin act. Here come renin. Here act renin, and these angiotensinogen convert into angiotensin first. These convert into angiotensin first. Angiotensin first is the less potent. We can say this less potent. Potent means powerful. Less powerful. So these angiotensin first convert into angiotensin second with the help of angiotensin converting enzyme, which form by lungs. Angiotensin converting enzyme formed by the lungs. Okay, so here ACE come. ACE stand for the angiotensin converting enzyme. ACE stand for the angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin converting enzyme, which convert angiotensin first into the angiotensin second. So there is angiotensin second. There is angiotensin second, which is potent vasoconstrictor. What? This is the potent vasoconstrictor. Potent vasoconstrictor. Potent vasoconstrictor. Vasoconstrictors means they constrict the blood vessels, narrowing the diameter of the blood vessels, known as the vasoconstrictor. Narrowing the diameter of blood vessels. Narrowing the diameter of blood vessel. Blood vessels. As you know, Boyle's law. Boyle's law states a Boyle's law. Boyle's law. Boyle's law says that pressure inversely proportional to volume. If our volume, if our volume is volume is low, then pressure become high. If our volume is low, means lumen is low, then pressure is high. That is a Boyle's law. This law also act in our the during the breathing, gaseous exchange, inspiration and expiration, known as respiration. Inhalation and exhalation. You understood this concept from the chapter breathing and exchange of the gases. Okay. So these photoconstrictor narrowing the diameter, and these also stimulate, also stimulate, stimulate adrenal cortex, adrenal cortex, adrenal cortex. So move in next slide. So angiotensin second, angiotensin second, angiotensin second, angiotensin second is have many role. They stimulate, stimulate the adrenal gland, adrenal gland, adrenal gland, also known as adrenal gland, also known as suprarenal gland, also known as suprarenal gland, renal gland. Because why it's called suprarenal gland? Because it's situated in superior portion of the kidney. That's why called suprarenal gland. Okay, so I mention it here, I mention it here. These situated, these situated, these situated in superior portion, in superior, superior portion of the kidney, portion of the kidney, of the kidney. We have two kidney, and so our adrenal glands is also two. Adrenal glands have divided into parts. Adrenal glands divided into parts. So we mention here adrenal gland, adrenal gland. If we talk about the adrenal glands, so there are two parts. Outer is cortex. Cortex always stand for the outer parts in biology. Okay, it's with the outer part, and made up of three layers, made up of three layers. First is V mnemonic GFR. G stand for Zona, Zona glomerulosa, merulosa. F stand for Zona fasciculata, fasciculata. And R stand for Zona reticularis, reticularis, zona reticularis. So these are three layers of the outer part of the adrenal gland. So zona glomerulosa secrete aldosterone, secrete aldosterone, aldosterone, aldosterone. These aldosterone, these aldosterone act as the mineralocorticoid. What mean of mineralocorticoid? They balance our minerals, sodium, chloride ion, and water also, and so we can call it mineralocorticoid. Mineralocorticoid, mineralocorticoid means they balance minerals. They balance minerals. They balance minerals. Balance minerals. minerals like like sodium, Na plus, Cl minus, and also stimulate water reabsorption from the later part of the tubules known as DCT and collecting duct. Okay, aldosterone, and they they reabsorb they reabsorb reabsorb the water from from later part from later part of the tubules later part of the tubules later part of the tubules means renal tubules. There is renal tubules. DCT means distal convoluted tubules and collecting duct. CT stand for the collecting duct. CT, collecting tubule या collecting duct. Collecting tubule or duct. Okay, so when they absorb, then reabsorb water, and they reabsorb sodium. Sodium has a capacity to hold the water. If our blood have a high sodium level, then our body contain lots of water. So then our skin become feeling like puffy, known as the edema. Okay, when in our body has less sodium in our blood, lead chloride ion in our blood, so our blood pressure become low and our skin become feel dehydrated because no sodium, less sodium. So water holding capacity of our body become low or become less. Okay, so I think this is you got it. So this aldosterone secreted from the zona glomerulosa, and zona fasciculata secrete cortisol hormone, which is known as life-saving hormones or emergency hormones. Zona reticularis secrete sexocorticoid. So this is not part of the this is the not part of the RAAS system. Main RAAS system part help in the secretion of aldosterone from the zona glomerulosa. Okay, so zona glomerulosa secrete the aldosterone. These are mineralocorticoid. They reabsorb the minerals. They reabsorb the minerals. There is reabsorption take place. Absorption take place. Reabsorption take place from the DCT and collecting ducts. If these are work together, then our body, then our body, body fluid or GFR, GFR increase, GFR increase, blood pressure increase, blood pressure increase, and glomerulus, glomerulus, merulus, blood flow increase, blood flow increase, flow increases. So when our RAS system act, then they increase blood pressure. When blood pass from the heart atria, when blood goes from heart atria, when high blood, when high blood pressure, pressure of flow, and they pass from atria, they pass from heart atria, heart atria, atria, they pass from heart atria. So in heart, so in atria, atria, some factor releases known as ANF. What? Known as ANF. ANF. ANF stand for atrial. N stand for natriuretic. 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 F stand for factor. F stand for factor. They work against the RAAS system. ANF work against the RAAS system. They decrease the blood pressure. They decrease the blood pressure and they become blood vessels diameter widen, means vasodilation. What? So these ANF, so ANF, 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 vasodilation. They doing vasodilation means widen the diameter. Widen the diameter. Diameter more. And diameter of blood vessel more, then pressure become less. So they, when RAAS system act, then ANF doing work. So from in NCRT line, NCRT line says that ANF check the Renin-Angiotensin-Aldosterone system. ANF check the Renin-Angiotensin aldosterone system. ANF work opposite. Opposite to RAAS. They work opposite to RAAS. They decrease blood pressure. And they also stimulate natriuresis. What? Natriuresis. Natriuresis stand for excretion of the sodium. What? Natriuresis stand for the excretion of the sodium through urine. Excretion of the sodium through urine. So these known as natriuresis. If sodium lost from the urine, then body don't have ability to hold more water, which necessary for the maintaining our blood pressure or body fluid balance. Okay. So there is also a system. They connected from the RAAS system that our ADH hormones work. So we talk about ADH. ADH stand for antidiuretic hormones. Antidiuretic hormone. These hormones secreted from hypothalamus. As we know, hypothalamus is the master endocrine gland. hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Okay. So hypothalamus is a master of master, master of master, master endocrine gland. Endocrine gland. In hypothalamus, many reflex action take place. Cardiac reflexes, gastric reflexes, our temperature regulation, our thirst means uh, thirst is also associated with hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus secrete hormone ADH. These also known as antidiuretic hormones and also known as vasopressin. Vasopressin, also known as vasopressin. When hypothalamus have osmoreceptors, osmoreceptors, receptor, osmoreceptors, these receptors are responsible for the osmoregulation, yeah, osmosis. These are these receptors responsible for these receptor responsible for osmoregulation. Osmoregulation. What mean of osmoregulation? So we write here osmoregulation means maintenance of the maintenance of body fluid body fluid body fluid balance with our electrolyte present in the body, electrolyte present in the body, so these known as osmoregulation present in the body. Okay, these receptor when activated, when our body lots of water in the form of urine, in the form of sweating. Okay, so they prevent diuresis. What mean of diuresis? Diuresis means prevent water loss in the form of urine. Okay, so these receptor activated when our body loss lots of water through urine, sweating, vomiting, diarrhea. So overall our body fluid become low. So if our body fluid become low, then our blood pressure become low. Okay, so they regulate our body fluid balance. So ADH prevent diuresis. So we mention here ADH prevent H2O loss from our body and act as vasoconstrictor. Act as a vasoconstrictor. If blood vessel constricts, then our blood pressure become high. So these are situations which associate with RAAS system. Okay, so overall we talk about the RAAS system and ADH system. So overall maintaining our the blood pressure, body fluid volume, and GFR. Okay, so we can repeat once. So subtopic is RAAS system. RAAS system stands for Renin-Angiotensin-Aldosterone System. Renin-Angiotensin-Aldosterone System. Renin secreted from the juxtaglomerular apparatus have JG cell. When juxtaglomerular apparatus form, when our DCT and efferent arterioles close association, this gap filled by the Lasix cell. These gap filled by the Lasix cell. These gap filled by the Lasix cells, and there are some cell of the modified in macula densa, which is the chemosensitive cell. They sensor the sodium and chloride ion. Sodium and chloride ion is the very necessary electrolyte for our body, which maintain our body fluid balance and help in the osmoregulation, and they maintain our BP. Okay, so these all things. Okay, aldosterone is the protein. Angiotensin is the protein which secreted by the liver, and aldosterone is the hormones which secreted by the adrenal cortex. Okay, so JG cell, juxtaglomerular cell, which secrete renin. JG apparatus formed by the DCT plus the efferent arterioles. Efferent arterioles is the fine branch of the renal artery. Okay, all proteins present in the our blood plasma. So these are efferent arterioles. These are the efferent arterioles. So we can say fine branch of renal artery. Fine branch of renal artery. They come blood, or we can say blood come through these arterioles in glomerulus, which filtration take place. In Bowman capsule, epithelium have the slit for or filtration slit or fenestra, which responsible for the filtration. Okay, this is the efferent arterioles. Efferent arterioles have the less diameter as compared to the afferent arterioles. Efferent arterioles cell modify and secrete the hormones renin. Renin hormone help in the RAAS system. When glomerulus and Bowman capsule come together, they form male pigeon body or renal corpuscles. Okay. Further we move RAAS system. When work RAAS system, when our GFR become low, blood pressure become low, glomerulus blood flow become low, then RAAS system activated. So blood in our body fluid, mainly blood, main body fluid is blood, and lymph is also our body fluid. Okay. So plasma contain 90 to 92% water. So we can say in our body have lots of water. Okay, which is necessary for our vital activity. So if our body fluid loss due to the many reasons such as trauma, injury or burn, if 20% body fluid loss, so known as hypovolumic shock. Okay. So further JGA have JG cells. JG cells secrete renin. Renin is a hormone, and these hormones convert plasma proteins, which is angiotensinogen, which formed by the liver. Okay, these convert angiotensin first. Angiotensin first is the less potent or less powerful. So these angiotensin first convert into angiotensin second with the help of ACE. ACE stands for the angiotensin converting enzyme, or these enzyme form in the lungs. These enzymes form in the lungs. Okay. So angiotensin second is the potent vasoconstrictor. If blood vessels diameter narrowing, I told you Boyle's law. Okay, I told you Boyle's law that pressure inversely proportional to volume. If volume is more, then pressure is less. If pressure is more, then volume is less. Okay. So that's the Boyle's law. So angiotensin second is the potent vasoconstrictor. So they stimulate also adrenal cortex. They also narrowing the diameter of the blood vessels. Angiotensin second stimulate adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex known as the suprarenal gland because they present in the superior part of the kidney. We have the two kidney, so we have two adrenal glands. Adrenal glands divided into two parts. Adrenal cortex have three layers. First layer is zona glomerulosa, which secretes the aldosterone, which work in the RAAS system. Okay, this is the mineralocorticoid. It means they reabsorb the minerals, maintenance of the minerals in our body. Sodium and chloride ion is mainly minerals. Many minerals is a sodium, but also chloride together work to maintaining our body hydrate and holding the water in our body. That's why our body become hydrate and our body tissue become work properly, our vital function become work properly. Okay, so reabsorption from the water later part of the tubules DCT and CT. CT stand for the collecting tubules or collecting duct. DCT stand for the distal convoluted tubules. Distal convoluted tubules means they situated from the far away from the glomerulus. That means the distal. Okay. But move further. So GFR increase, then these system become work. Then our GFR increase. So our GFR increase, blood pressure increase, GFR increase, blood pressure increase, GFR blood flow increase. So if high blood pressure or high flow of the blood pass from the heart atria, then atria release some factor known as the ANF, atrial natriuretic factor. Atrial natriuretic factor. Natriuretic factors means natriuretic factor means they prevent they stimulate natriuresis. Natriuresis means the excretion of the sodium from our body in the form of urine. So that's why blood pressure become low and ANF work as vasodilator. Okay, they work opposite to the RAAS. ANF work opposite to the RAAS. When RAAS work, then ANF also work because ANF check the RAAS mechanism. Okay. So ADH, there is some subtopic also. ADH. ADH means antidiuretic hormone. They secrete from the hypothalamus, and these secrete from the hypothalamus but store from the posterior pituitary. Okay, because posterior pituitary known as the false endocrine portion of the pituitary gland because they don't secrete any hormones but they store two hormones which is secreted by the hypothalamus. First is the ADH known as the antidiuretic hormone, also known as the vasopressin, and second is the oxytocin. Oxytocin hormone known as the love hormone, milk letdown hormone, and milk ejecting hormone. These are different parts. Okay. So ADH also prevent diuresis. What mean of diuresis? Diuresis means prevent of water loss from the in the form of urine. Okay. And overall, our hypothalamus have osmoreceptors which maintain our osmolarity or help in the osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means maintaining our body fluid balance with the electrolyte. Electrolyte is the sodium and potassium, chloride ion, and bicarbonate ions. Okay. ADH prevent body loss, body fluid water loss, act as a vasoconstrictor. From our body, when osmoreceptor activated, when our body lots of water in the form of urine, sweating, vomiting, and diarrhea, and burn, and hypovolumic shock, that's all function work. Okay. So there are some term diuresis, 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 prevent H2O loss, prevent H2O loss in the form of in the form of urine, in the form of urine. And natriuresis, these done by ADH. And natriuresis stand for excretion of the sodium, excretion of the sodium from our body, our body in the form of, in the form of urine. Urine. Urine lots of sodium. Lots of sodium. That's why blood pressure decreases. Okay. So these concept of the RAAS system, I hope you understand better way. I think you memorize each and everything very well. So thank you. Best of luck. Stay tuned with me. Thank you.